Good morning and welcome to Uganda First. My name is Frank Walisimbi. It is a beautiful Thursday back here in Kampala, Serena Conference Center. I want to think that it is the same where you are. If it is not, well, let's hope things will be good later on. It's the 18th day of November. Tomorrow is 19th and it is International Men's Day. Are you ready for it? We have talked about building patriotism on this show for countless times, and all the speakers here have highlighted the need for this conversation to start at home so that children can grow up familiar with the concept of patriotism and also live and act as patriotic citizens. Now, today let us focus on the adolescent boys. You probably have an adolescent son, 2 or even more, but do you realize that of late there is much focus put on the girl child? We don't want the girl child that society has prepared so well to cross paths with the responsible males in the future. That will not be good at all. Tomorrow, we are commemorating International Men's Day. Boys and men, you're all implored to use the day to reflect on how you can make better relations with women. For the boys specifically, it is important that we nurture and mentor them into responsible men who will advance gender equality. This country should have men of honor, and the time to make them the men of honor is now. The men who stand for good values, men who reject self-gratifying activities like drugs, violence, sexual abuse, corruption, and theft, among others. Men who love and stand for their families, men who encourage, educate, and celebrate their daughters. Men who are patriotic. The commemoration of the International Men's Day will be at the Uganda Scouts National Campsite at Kazi. The National Scouts Patriotism Coordinator, Mr. Richard Kamya, is on set to tell us more about the day, while Mubarak Magom, Commissioner at the National Secretariat for Patriotism Clubs, is also here. He will weigh in on boy mentorship and patriotism. Good to see you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to NTV. Mr. Magom, you've been here before?
Yeah, I've been
2
here
or 3 times?
About 3 or 4, actually, 5 times.
Yeah, and we usually talk about patriotism.
Yes.
People are starting to appreciate this. The show is instilling patriotism. For me, that is a very good thing. It's a very good thing.
Yeah, like you see many challenges going through. Patriotism is required in this country. And like there's a discussion about mentorship of the young people. We really need to see
the boys. There is a lot of conversation about girls, you know, the girl child, and I get worried. Of late, I was happy that the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda came out strongly and said, hey, look, you're concentrating on the girl child, but we are forgetting the boys. They are going to be the husbands tomorrow. They are going to be leaders. They're going to be in different positions. We have to talk to them.
But you see,
yes,
what is important is that the public need to know the stages through which we mentor these people. Whose responsibility? Who is saying a girl child should do this and a boy shouldn't do this? Because all the problems that are happening in society and communities may not be entirely the responsibility of the community, but the parents seems to have left out their contribution. You know that stages of a growth of a boy, we have the roles that a parent is supposed to do right from the beginning. Then we have the community contribution to this boy. And as he grows, then there is a state responsibility. Now, where do we come in to see that this boy is mentored? To me, in my opinion, I see that we may not blame the community or the state for how this boy is not moving a better one, but
parents, guardians.
The problem is on the parenting. Because if a parent who is taking care of, even thinking about how to get this boy, and is coming on earth, then he should be able to show the direction that, you know what, to be God-fearing, you go to church.
Yes.
That's the work of a parent. To be a better person, go and get a skill, ABCD. That's why. Now, because the government itself, the government will have to do, will provide schools, provide teachers, will provide what to teach. But the point I want to say here is that the beginning of mentoring a boy should be at that level of a parent. 5 years, 6 years, I am with this boy. Some, of course, of them have been mixed with culture.
Culture.
Yes. And some parents glorify culture. Where you come from in Bali, a boy, regardless of age, if you are not circumcised, then you're a boy. Once you are, even if you are 5 years and they remove you, then you qualify to be a man, because they have removed it, not age.
That is the point exactly, where I think we should be focusing. A parent or guardian might do what they are supposed to do, but you know, the boys walk out of the home and go to this open world that is full of patriarchy, that is full of this concept of masculinity, and they get temptation to act as society thinks they should be acting. Mr. Kami.
Yeah, well, the current children we are having have exposure to these so-called electronic media. They want what is happening in those other countries to exactly happen also in Uganda here. So they end up adapting wrong characters, especially those who are exposed to TV, those social media.
I think media has been a vehicle that has brought to us popular culture.
Well,
the boys sing the rap music, I don't know from where, the movies and what have you. So popular culture.
Yeah, so they want also to copy exactly what is there. But these children need to be guided.
Sure.
Because copying a right thing, me I would think is the best. And now with the patriotism norms, where people are really streamlined on how to handle mindset, we show these children what is bad and what is wrong. I mean, what is correct, in such a way that even if a child gives us only 3 hours in patriotism, cannot remain the same. But the children of today, with exposure and neglecting their parents sometimes because they want soft landing somewhere.
Society is swallowing them up.
Yeah, the society is swallowing them up. And we need to come up collectively, the media, the state, and the community, to sensitize these children. Otherwise, we shall keep blaming them when actually we are also not helping them.
You know, when it comes to the girl child, things have been said and actually implemented. And some of these methods to protect the girl, to educate, they are really working to some extent.
Yeah.
And I want to see the same happening for the boy child, you know, where we are going. And not leave the conversation on paper, media should act, state. Can we have some, you know, some
system?
A system, something that we can see that this can really work. You know, as a parent, what are you doing? What are you telling to your boy? We were talking before we came on air that where we are now, violence, if you look at the statistics, more than 70% of the actors in the violent acts that happen, the criminality, they're males, more than 70%. And we're asking, what is it that was not told to these males?
Well,
the men of today, 25 years and above.
I'm saying that these children are too relaxed. We need to identify maybe skilling activities to keep them engaged. We need to show them productive activities which can catch their attention. Otherwise, when we leave them redundant, that's when they are influenced by the peer pressure, and they admire what the peer groups are doing, and they forget what their parents may be telling them. Take an example of this COVID hit. You may realize that in normal circumstances, we used to have these children with teachers for 9 months in a year. Now, they would stay with their parents for only 3 months, and they would cope up with what is in their school environment. That one occupied them. But due to COVID hit, people could not sustain themselves by staying with their parents. You would see someone moving from one parent to another, and when you keep on loitering like that to various homes, you end up getting different behaviors.
You pick different behavior.
You pick different behaviors, and if you are not very selective, you may end up going to the negative one. So we need to focus also onto that and create activities which can keep these children busy and at least generate income for them to look responsible citizens. So may I advocate for skilling as much as we also tame them into mindset.
Mr. Magom, we're looking at adolescent boys who are going to strive for gender equality, you know, in the near future. What kind of conversation should we have with them? What should we tell them?
Yeah, I think this is in line with what we are promoting and also with the president in patriotism values. You know, a value is not something to be said, but something that is depicted in actions and practices.
Should be acted, yes.
So, like when we talk about a value, say, of work, it is an area of working on the mindset of a boy to know that as you move, things should not be got on a silver plate, that you must work to achieve that. Now, a boy who has grown entirely knowing that for him to survive, he must strive to work, then the parents will have to give that boy that direction. You know, when you grow up, there are many other responsibilities. Our cultures in this country, even when you go look at the Bible, Quran and the Islamic, religious, other religions, there is an element of reward if you are getting somebody's daughter. Now, when a younger person is mentored on a concept of work, such that you will be in a position to give what is required and get somebody, because dowry, you must have it. So in this regard, for us to bring a younger boy to be responsible enough, must take work seriously, to be embedded into what he is doing, such that by the time he moves and grows into a man, he's responsible enough.
Value.
Yes, no, he's responsible enough to give what is required of him to achieve that. He's supposed to construct. Yes, once you marry, whether the woman is having the high-paying job and not, you are a man. You must construct.
You must have a home.
Yes. Okay. Our cultural values in Africa can, if well lifted, will help this young boy to be at the agenda. Maybe the girls could be at a certain level simply because there have been some deliberate effort. Because even in the government, there are some extra points for a girl to match, to move this boy up. But we are saying that should not disadvantage a boy, because a boy needs also to speak up. The kind of the mentorship we need the boy, because you look at a boy, he's admiring something to reach there, but he has no means, and therefore will be suffocated. So we are saying, as a younger boy, speak it out, that tomorrow I want to become the headmaster of the school. Then how do I go to get there? It is the idea. It's an idea that comes into a child. Building that in yourself, so that you work towards achieving that. Because if you don't develop your vision as a younger boy, we shall continue blaming that girls have taken all this, and yet we must work and move in that direction. Secondly, that when you look at the value of spirituality, we are almost equal. I could not have almost, but we are equal, because when we talk about prayer, when I go to church, I'm very sure that I'm praying to the same God. All right? Even the way I'm praying is the same. In Islamic context, even very clear that those who do the right, when you are going for prayer, this is what you must recite. And this, you can't, if it's 5 times a day, you can't say me I'm going to pray 6 times a day, because it is within that moving the position of equality. So when you look at a younger person, should not look at himself maybe as if he's being demeaned, but to put yourself at the equal footing, because you are there equal before God. The errors that have been prepared for a boy and a girl does not stop you from moving that level. So it's an issue of mindset. We have some boys, I think in Uganda, they call it sechibote. When you get a boy, of course, who does not meet the standards of a man, you know,
he's dull.
Yeah, you are dull. Meaning that you, as a younger boy, as you graduate towards a man, all of those things that are associated with making you weak should be erased in your brain. And that's what we are looking at in the form of any patriotism, to see a boy responsible and a man of your own. And I want to call upon the parents out there that as these younger boys and girls move to school or to go to church, there must be an equal element to know that you are a father, fathered them, or you mothered them, and therefore there must be prepared. These other issues of culture saying that I think I should pay for a girl and leave a boy, because the boy, it shouldn't arise because you will be killing the nation.
Exactly.
Yeah, because this child you are neglecting is going to be a husband of somebody's daughter.
The one you are taking care of.
Yes, you are taking care of. So that somebody has mentored the daughter very well. Now you are leaving
the boy.
Yes, supposing my daughter is married to your son.
And he's going to be the head of the family.
So meaning that now for us as parents, we should take this at the same footing, because this when building a generation on only one side may not necessarily make us balanced as a country. We play different roles in the community.
You hint at something that actually has caused some boys' problems, that things that make you weak. You know, back then, if you were not able to fight, you know, at school or beat up somebody, you know, you considered weak. That masculinity, the falsehoods around it, how do we deal with the falsehoods? If you don't fight, you know, if you don't hiss at a girl, if you don't shout at so and so, you're not man enough.
That kind of
false
thinking,
masculinity.
that mentality ended. Those are gone days where people used to think like that.
You won't believe when you go out. You
These
probably
days
spend most of your time in Kampala, where you interact with children who go to these
these days,
high-end schools.
I normally move to various parts of the country, more so when we are conducting those...
when you're coordinating the scouts.
Yeah, the scouts, and when they are conducting their district camps. But I'm seeing that Uganda is changed. Uganda has changed. You find that now people are reminded of the laws governing the country. You touch somebody, they will call for you, the right force to handle you. But what is most important is really to show boys also the right direction. And this can only be done, from my observation, by empowering them with skills. These skills we empower them with, enable them to generate some income, And that one can enable them to raise school fees.
You know, Richard, you're right.
Yes.
Skilling is okay.
Mm.
I can have a skill. I can be a welder.
Yes.
I can be a brick maker or anything else. But without that other responsibility in me, with the thought that when I see females, I should, you know,
provoke them.
I should provoke them, you know. I can also have a skill, but when I am a dishonest person. But we want men who are responsible.
Yeah, those are the
men who will fight for gender equality, men who will defend the women, men who will stand against corruption.
Yeah, and I think that's why...
That's a generation of men we should look...
No, I think that is being driven by attitude in what we see. You know, at times, when you want to achieve something, then you look at yourself in inferiority, to be inferior. For example, there are younger boys who take cooking as the responsibility of women.
Yes.
Because believe me not, whether you're a man or what, you should eat. Now, the mere fact that you are waiting for this lady who is empowered to come and cook for you before you eat, and you're a younger man, honestly, which message are you sending into your body, into your brain?
Sorry to interrupt, but there's something that normally gets to my nerve when I find young men saying, and I'm like, is that sensible?
And actually, that's what we are really.
If you still think women are second-class citizens who should cook for you and wash for you, that is, I won't use the word, but it's unbecoming.
No, actually, it's what's bringing the younger people out down, because there are some activities that you see will be demonstrating to say that this person is putting a skill in himself. Because there are things that you are not supposed to be really told. Where will you get the school to teach the practical sense of work in your brain? It should be hands-on.
Yes.
Yes. Now, we are here saying that we have girls that are more empowered doing this work. What about you, the boy? So what we are saying is that we should not undermine work. In some cases, when you see a boy doing work, you see a girl, you run. When you see a girl, you run away from doing that work
because they think it's shaming.
It's shaming. I have an example. There's a boy I saw when he visited with a lady in a hotel. Because he didn't have money, she called for it. Then he went and hid in a certain corner, calling for soup and mandas.
Because
instead of saying, let's share what is here,
what is available,
but you want to show falsely that you have.
Pretense.
Now, that false pretense.
That's the masculinity now.
Yes.
The false one.
Yes, that false pretense.
That you should not be seen, you know, in those times when you don't have.
Exactly.
We have seen boys who go and borrow somebody's shirt because they're going to meet a girl.
They want to impress.
Yeah.
That is wrong. So we are saying for us, as we are mentoring you, let's feel reality, have the reality.
So the value of humility is as well important.
Very, very important.
Let's walk the talk. Why should we pretend that you have when you don't have? And this is the challenge which younger men have closed into themselves.
And in our generation, have you seen the young men who are in the media trying to show they have some money on them?
Of course.
They pretend they are throwing around
money. They are
money.
throwing around
impression.
No, even we are seeing in weddings, somebody gets dollars and starts showing. But after 2 months, honestly, the boy will say, well, this boy was showing us that he has money. And with due respect to our cultures, you decorate something in the form of gifts, but what is inside is one thing. Is a tomato wrapped with. And it's being done because the boy has done to impress the family where he's going to get a girl from. Now, some of these things will have to work out of pretense. Will limit a boy to grow as a man, because you will continue pretending. What we are telling these boys...
Responsible men do not live a life of pretense.
No, you can't, because you can't sustain it. Once you produce children, they must eat. If the only job available is to make bricks or agriculture, go ahead and do it.
the bricks.
Yes, go ahead and do it. But because your attitude is being fixed because they are going to laugh at you.
At you, because...
How do I marry from this family? I should lie. Now, you end up having... Recently, there's a young man, I think from one of the universities, who told me that he is going to buy a machine of washing.
Washing machine.
A washing machine. That because there are very many lazy young men in the university who don't want even to wash there.
So he's going to make money.
Yes, he's going to make money. Now you can see.
And it's interesting how times change, Richard. I grew up in a family where, you know, such domestic chores were shared. We knew that Monday Frank is going to cook, he's going to wash, he's going to do that, and there is no problem at all. And we now see men who are in hotels. Actually, a big number of chefs.
Yeah, they are men.
Hotels. They are men.
They are men. Yeah.
You go to these other supermarkets, you find them doing that work.
So,
and when you are eating, you don't ask, is it a woman who made this? Who made
it? You don't. But I think it is also influence of some culture.
Yeah.
There are some people who really decided that this work is for ladies, this should be for men. For example, in the northern Uganda, a man is not supposed to cook. That is the work of the ladies. But here in Uganda, I'm seeing it is a different story.
When the woman
Uganda,
is not around.
Yeah, when the woman is not around, the boy will even work on the matoka and you find the food ready.
That's a generation of men I desire to see.
Yeah. So we need to teach our children to be flexible.
To be flexible.
To adjust according to the situation.
So tomorrow, what will you be talking about at Kazi, for example?
Well, tomorrow we shall be addressing the challenges of a boy child. The challenges of a boy child, because they feel that they are maybe neglected, and they think that we give most of our time to the female. Yet these female we are taming will end up being wives to those very boys we are neglecting, and they end up spoiling the whole thing. So tomorrow we have to address such challenge in our talks, and we are preparing several groups of people to handle different topics which can be of importance to these.
So the attendants are going to be split into different groups. Yeah. Do they sit as one group and somebody comes?
They will sit as one group, but we shall have different facilitators.
Okay.
Yeah, who will attend to them.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're watching Uganda First. It is 28 minutes past 11 a.m. We're going to take a short break. We will return. Don't go away. I have Commissioner Magomu and Mr. Kamya. We're discussing the topic of mentoring adolescent boys into responsible men. Tomorrow is International Men's Day. We talked to some people about this particular topic of mentoring adolescent boys. Let's listen to some of them.
Abalenzi batulekeredde nnyo, itwe abasajja batulekeredde nnyo kubanga ndaba ebyabwerere byonna by'abakazi. Ffe lwaki abasajja tebabituwa okusomera obwerere? Abangi okusomera obwerere abawala be basinga banoonyayo abawala n'emirimu eminene kati eminene bagisindikamu abakazi. Bw'oba osomeseza omulenzi ayinza okujjayo omuwala kubanga ndaba ffe bataata basaanidde okudda ku mulamwa gw'abalenzi ne babasomesa.
Ensonga y'okukuza abaana ab'obulenzi kyetaagisibwa nga tuli babiri, nze ne taata tukwatagana tutya awaka, era omwana waffe oyo tuli mukuza mu mbeera ki. Omwana wabanga atebenkedde ku ddiini atya okuyingiramu emize emibi, kubba, kuwankawanka, kunywa njaga, biki ebyo. Ffe twakula nga tumanyi nti ku kyalo buli muntu mukulu abeera muzaddewo, era nga w'okola ensobi ajja kukwata akole ki? Akukube. Muzeeyi tubadde tumusaba amateeka ennaku zino agakendeezeeko agagyewo okoko, kubanga omanyi ekisinza okwonoona omwana. Nga kati ng'ono muzadde ajja kusanga omwana wange ali mu nsobi, naye bw'anaamukwata n'amukuba, omwana yagenda okumusooka ku poliisi ayonoonye ekintu oba byo oba akoze eki. Naye olw'amateeka kati agaliwo ennaku zino, omwana wadduka ku poliisi bajja ne bakimwono nga nze ki siriiwa muzadde. ngenda nze muzadde munnange okumulaba ng'ali munda. Enkola ey'edda kwegamba yavaawo tekyaliwo. Naye ffe we twakuliranga ku kyalo nga niwe ova ku ssomero nti ogenze waka oba okyamye ku muyembe gw'omuntu oba okoze otya, omuzadde n'akusanga n'akubuuza okola ki, ajja kukuba. Omwana ajja kukula amanye nti ono muzadde alinganga maama wange.
Okukuba si ye solution gambye ekiryawo nanki okukuba mpaka bwagenda oterera. Waliwo abaana bina emyaka nga 7 oba 8 oba 10 otuula naye ng'omuntu n'omugamba mwana wange kino kibi, kola bwoti n'omubuulirira. Singa otambula mu kkubo nosinga n'omuntu mukulu mubuuzeeko.
Era nze kyensaba mukulembeze waffe atuyambe abasajja abazaala mu bakazi abaana ne babasuulawo akirowoozeeko, abaana bakule nga babuvunaanyizibwa nga bampisa. Obayo omwana omuwala awuliriza nnyo maama, naye kati omwana omulenzi ye nkubuulire yeetaaga ng'aliko taata kuba ye taata w'enkya.
Okuza omwana olina omugwigiriza, olina omutwala ku ssomero asome ayige buli kimu, olina okutavuma abantu, olina okukula olina empisa okitegeera okule nga oli mwana muwulizi.
Okubaagaza ensi yaabwe kuddamu okubayigiriza ensi kyeki, kwe kuba n'empisa, okuyiga empisa mu bantu, okutya abazadde, okutya omuntu wena asinga obukulu n'atali muzaddewo naye omusaamu ekitiibwa. Awo osobola kuba musajja wamuvunaanyizibwa mu biseera by'omu maaso.
All right, some of the people we spoke to about mentoring adolescent boys into responsible men in Uganda and beyond. In Uganda and beyond. Society raising a child, is it still something possible in Uganda? Mr. Kame, you now live in enclosures.
Yeah.
In Ibikomera.
Yeah, of course. And with the COVID,
each family on its own.
The way I see now, each family is standing on its own. But otherwise,
it was a good virtue for all the adults to be responsible for the children in their
actually, when you look at the days we grew up, every parent was responsible for a child in the community.
True.
Not only his child, but because of these abnormal circumstances, people have diverted from that.
You even caution a child and it becomes
an issue. Yeah, it becomes a security threat to the neighbor. A child is not supposed to be touched. And that's why I'm seeing the antisocial behaviors growing up so fast. But maybe a message to adolescents. You should know where you are. Those who are watching me there. That when you are watching a film or a best film, you need to know that there is somebody who put his time to make it best. Therefore, stop thinking negatively and put energy in every activity you touch to make sure that you make it also the best, and the people watch whatever you are doing in the long run.
Make the best movie out of yourself.
Exactly.
Mr. Magom.
Yes, please.
Society raising children.
They're true.
Children being raised by the community, should I say? Should I put it that way?
Yeah, true. That should have been the idea, but what's the practice? Because we have communities that have grown up with the spiritual attachment.
Yes.
But also, it is important for the young people, the boys, especially boys, for that matter, to think on spirituality. Things that happen is a calling from one who created you. And when you ask God through prayer, something good you want to achieve, you will get it. But if you will think that because of your energy, because of your what, you will get that, then there's a very big problem. That so the message I want to send to young boys, that when you want to get something that you admire in life, then in your prayer, seek for that will be given. And most importantly, praying for those parents because they took responsibility. Something that you are not seeing will definitely come and see you succeeding. We shall continue blaming our parents simply because we have not understood that much as your parents produced you, God created you inside there, and therefore you need to thank them through prayer. Daddy nkwebaza, mami nkwebaza. Then also parents play that. Now, in the communities, what we are not refusing for younger people to get is that you as a parent, which kind of community or group are you leaving your boy to go in? Okay.
True.
Recently, as a boy, when we were training, he really came up and confessed. When he was there, he confessed with the drugs that he was taking it since senior 2. In this COVID, I think last 2-3 months ago.
And that was a boy?
A boy. There is a young boy whom I know very well. When their friends were in class before lockdown, the younger man left the paper, yet he's bright, he left the paper, he didn't do it. He only moved out. The following day, they saw things in the dormitory, but the boy is nowhere to be seen. When they called the father, the boy was found in the father's home. What's the problem? And when the boy was going, they said, you know, I grew up when I was a senior 2. When I don't take, they think I don't feel well. So even if you say what, even if my dad beats me,
the addiction grew.
He's addicted. The father is a very serious person whom I can't mention now, but he, boy, as I talk right now, is now thinking that carrying luggage to help others is the best job. The money has left in school. The boy is bright. Senior 5. What is that calling for? So I don't want to blame parents so much, but let's take the initiative. Whether these children are young, boys are young. Imagine a boy now of 19 years to that level. Tomorrow, I'm very sure that these people we are seeing cutting their fathers' necks because of failure to give them land. It's because we did not mentor them from that time of. So we are saying that the 3 things that must be done. 1, that let's involve these young boys in what we do. Lockdown is there. If you have a shop, if you have, let them participate in that. Yes. Participating in agriculture. This has been proved beyond a doubt that the energies that this young man would have used wrongly will make him develop. Now, if I may ask you parents there at home, which work have you given your boy? Or is just waiting for the schools to open in January to go? By now, we must have got productive activities at home. Cabbages and talk, but because we seem to saying, you boy, you wait, you go to school, it will be a dangerous move.
It's about academics.
Yes, a dangerous move, and that one, I want to tell you parents that even when you tell a boy child to participate in doing business, it's part of education. Yes, because tomorrow even if he gets a degree, he will have to get what is practical for him to eat, and that does not stop him from getting a distinction. Okay, or stopping him from being a man because he's working and a student. And finally, the issue of when you talk about these boys, let's help them to speak out to their mind. Because if you have a parent in a community who is always caning this boy on every simple mistake, you are likely going to spoil. Because one time he ran away from home, simply because he knows that again
you can provoke aggressive behavior.
Yes. Yeah. So let's make them our friends. Let's talk to them, because believe me not, as a boy is growing, he will definitely discover that this my father is doing this and I'm also doing this. And also let's walk the talk. You can't be a father telling a child, don't go and drink, but you are at the same time carrying warrage.
Do what I say?
Yes.
That's a very good point.
Yes. So this boy, mentoring at that level, will say, oh, my dad is real. Because actually the best word that we would use in this boy, in a good person, would be looking at, this one is a patriotic boy. This one is a patriotic adolescent, because you have embedded in the values that the society admires, and progressively the country will be benefiting from your services. Tomorrow when God gives you an opportunity, you're in a public office, or a serious businessman, you are likely going to give the public what is good for them, rather than selling rotten tomatoes hiding inside. It's because you didn't prepare yourself spiritually, you didn't participate in this, and the country can only achieve the best out of you when every person played the role, especially you, the parent. Because a parent will even engage what is in that community. Okay, what is in that community? We have seen boys and girls who are influenced by what is available in a given community. They hear people, from there the boy will start. So you as a parent, you have the capacity to show the direction of this boy and the girl. This is what we need.
Should live as an example.
We have seen parents actually, as an example, we have seen actually parents choosing choices for the children, leaning on religion. Okay, this school because I want him to be mentored, to come up with spiritual conscious. That is a value he wants this child to acquire. Now, there are those parents, students who have excelled, the boys who have excelled in sports. We have seen schools also saying, I think, where the parents know that this school wants the boys who are good athletes, good in football, and we can take them there. Such that his talent is built, because it's showing them the community where we will be achieving.
Actually, that brings me to the next question, to Mr. Kamil.
Yes.
That how can we use popular culture to inspire the boy child? I am seeing of late people, the Premier League in the UK is very trendy here. But how do you use that to inspire the boys? How do you tell them this is good, this is bad, focus on this type of content? How can we go about that?
Maybe we should involve some educative messages whenever we have such entertainments. So it is one way of delivering a message to the young ones as they watch such games. There should be a program designed to suit such, so that whoever is really watching can pick something from it. It shouldn't be only entertainment. It should be entertainment with a purpose. When we look at scouting, for example, they say it is a fun for a purpose. That's why they learn by doing. You are making fun, but people what? They are learning. They are learning leadership through patrol system. You make a group of 8 young ones with a patrol leader. There they are learning through patrol system, but you're educating them how to manage themselves, how to lead each other.
All right, you can send in your thoughts, your questions on zeros. The number will be displayed. There are those that got it already. You can send to that WhatsApp number. Do not send a voice note, do not send a video, just write. We'll be able to see some of them. They're getting ready. We should be able to see them. So tomorrow, who is, all right, let's read a few. They're here. Thank you for the program. I am of a view that we as fathers are 100% responsible for uprighting our children, especially boys, in the manners and regulations they have to follow, from boys to men. Teddy, thank you. Parents should be exemplary to the adolescent boys by inspiring them in order for them to be responsible in future. Yes, living as an example. Don't be an alcoholic. You're telling that to your boy, don't carry alcohol to the home, because you'll be showing something else. All right, thank you for hosting Mr. Magomo and Kamia. Mentoring boys starts from homes, by parents, by educating them on issues like positive attitude towards society, humility, respect, honesty, hard work, and working together in a family and to the entire society. Musinguzi John Chotera, thank you. All right, that's the number where you can send your comment. How are you going to engage tomorrow in the International Men's Day as National Secretariat for Patriotism Clubs?
Yeah, because with scouting we are now on people to ensure that work in the shared values, and as we talk right now, we're also sharing the grounds. You realize that the scouts is part of patriotism. Patriotism is all said because we are looking at mindset of everybody. Whereas scouts, because for it is selective, because it's those who are willing to join. But here it's a call for everybody in the country. Okay. So that when we partner with the scouts, we shall be able to bring many young boys and girls to be mentored. So tomorrow is our contribution there is to share with the young people, especially on how they need to integrate the values of patriotism in the scouting work, which we are. And
considering the pillars of scouting, the three pillars: duty to God, duty to others, duty to yourself, and to the country. I say that all scouts are patriots in a simple way. Yes, yeah. All scouts are patriots. But now, when patriotism comes in with a mileage of activities, then they are transformed more compared to their usual activities. And I think that is the uniqueness now of the integration of the two.
Hopefully schools are going to be opening in January, we hope so.
Yeah. Yes.
And I have this concern. How can the teachers continue to engage the adolescent boys? I know there is a lot of programs for girls in schools. NGOs are very busy. The government itself is very busy trying to make sure the girl child lives in a situation that is protective, you know.
During this COVID...
But now how can the teachers take on the adolescent boys? They've been home nearly 2 years.
Well, the government has tried to train teachers in patriotism, and we hope with what they have acquired, they can now use it to tame these children to the right channel. So we're encouraging maybe all the stakeholders, I mean the teachers, who have undergone patriotism trainings, to train other patrol leaders so that the idea of patriotism is maintained in schools. And once we transform a number of children, I don't think these so-called riots will continue, because sometimes children are misinformed, but when they get ideas, they think they will be responsible people. So this can only be done by teachers who are responsible taking it up as also a responsibility, and they have also to change their attitude towards what they will be doing. So
adolescent boys,
yes.
When schools open up, Mr. Magom?
Yeah, I think that is a very good one. Like I was telling teachers yesterday in
activity.
What we are using in patriotism that I want to guide the head teachers in the school is to operationalize what we call the syndicate. In the patriotism, the syndicate is a group of the students that has a minimum number of 36. sections. And when we get a syndicate popularized, then we get a teacher whom we attach to that group who will be mentoring the younger ones on day-to-day activities. Some schools, I see they have come up with the senior man teacher who works on, yes, he works on the boys problems the boys are facing through. You'd say, Master, I have developed this in my private parts. What is it? Then you will be able to.
Senior man teacher.
Senior man teacher, yes. Because I see there are some boys who can even work against their health. How do you stay without even washing the stockings, the underpart, and you know, we don't bathe, and you want to become. So all these.
And they somehow they falsely believe that men are supposed to be like that.
But I think that's wrong. And the senior man teacher has helped us, because you know that by the standards of a teacher, you have a role of guiding and counseling these boys and girls in schools. So particularly for the boys, let's take initiative, because there are many things they go to. Parents, if we neglect making these boys better people, then we are likely going to have a better society. Because remember, believe me, not by all standards, these boys will grow and start marrying our daughters. And you have no control of who is going to marry your daughter.
No.
Okay, yes. So let's be concerned as teachers that yes, we are there concerned to teach them the curriculum, to pass with distinctions, what, but at the end of it all, let's integrate the values of patriotism. I want to end this in this way, that when we started the patriotism teaching in schools, His Excellency the President guided on 6 points that teachers need to integrate. It is part and parcel of building this boy child. 1, encouraging them to excel in academics as boys. Okay? That one, it should be a role of you as a teacher. Let them excel. Number 2, that let them be involved in doing physical exercise. That become healthy.
Healthy bodies.
Yes, because once you make press-ups, it will be healthy and therefore will be productive. The 3rd one is for them to become spiritually conscious. Let them take God serious, because they have there's a reason why they were created. Once we integrate this, we shall not fail to come up with the boy.
4th?
The 4th one is getting this boy to, when they grow up, they should get somebody who is dependable and reliable to be a partner. Not just pick a woman for their characteristics of dependability from this person you are going to marry.
How do you support each other in
because
partnership?
Yes, that when you are moving, you are producing children. How are you going to bring them up? Are you with the one person drinking, another one is not? So we are saying that if the two
compatibility in relationships,
if a male and a female are doing well, then we are likely going to get the offsprings that will get the better people for this country.
5th and 6th, I want to read some more comments.
Okay, the 5th one is about us working hard. Work. Let boys work. Success is about work. And finally is telling teachers to tell the boys to read our literature of patriotism, so that they become responsible. Let them love themselves, love this country, love the school where they are. I'm telling you, we shall be making better people as they move on.
All right, let's look at, let's have some messages here. Okay, it's quite much, but thank you so much for the good program. I wish it was started some years ago. Something went wrong somewhere, and the earlier we know that, the better for all of us. When the parents gave all the powers of looking after their children, that's when things went wrong. We grew up knowing what do's and don'ts from our parents and not teachers. You could hear someone say, my father told me not to do this. My mother told me, girls do not do this, and you grow up knowing that, okay, let's be serious. You didn't put your name, unfortunately. Thomas Tumwebaze, he's in Kagadi. Some parents believe that gender differences are set in stone. Others see them has more, what's that word?
Influence.
Media has a big influence on parents' perception of gender, gender stereotypes. Politically, conservative sources are more likely to explain gender differences as being based on biology rather than culture. And that means their leaders were more comfortable to traditional
Gender.
Okay, it's a bit academic, but well, thank you. Tiago Veran, he's in Kamwocha. Charity begins at home. We should teach our boys to fear God first and again to love their country. Parents should mentor and inspire their children to be responsible people in the future. Case in point, teaching them money-making ventures like business or agriculture. Kamasaka Robert Nakawa. Thank you for watching, and the others who are sending in your thoughts. Derek in Mubende, my father showed me the way. He married 2 and failed to balance them, so I will marry 2 to show him how to. You're in support of polygamous, whatever marriages. All right, let's conclude. Mr. Kame, in just a few seconds. We have less than a minute left.
Yeah, well, as we conclude, we need to know that boys are equally important like girls, and therefore we need each other in order to sustain ourselves in this world. So I encourage parents not to neglect their boys.
Okay.
And we move together.
Thank you so much, Mr. Magomu. In 20 seconds, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Parents out there, help us to move the younger people to grow up in that process of being better as they face challenges out in the community. And most importantly, as the state has put patriotism secretariat to help you in how best we can align with what you already started with after bringing this child from that level. And the interventions that the government has put in putting up schools, teachers, but most importantly is the guidance of the mindset, now patriotism, that has existed for the last 12 years, to be part and parcel of what we teach. There is nothing wrong when you are teaching chemistry and biology or another subject to tell a child to be a better one.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching Uganda First. Don't forget, tomorrow, International Men's Day. Let's reflect on the things that make us, the men and the boys, better people, responsible people in this country. We should be champions of the good things, gender equality, you know, and the others. Because of time, we have to stop at this. Thank you so much and have a good afternoon.
Turning on your world.